Hello, Prof. Elise and my fellow classmates in Strama. My name is James Ryan Fernandez, and I will present topics related to corporate governance, organizational structure and controls, implementing strategy through organizational architecture, and strategic leadership. Corporate governance is a relationship among stakeholders that is used to determine a firm's direction and control its performance. Effective governance that aligns manager decisions with shareholders' interests can help produce a competitive advantage for a firm. Ownership is separated from control in modern corporation. Owners hire managers, agents to make decisions that maximize the firm's value. As risk-bearing specialists, owners diversify their risk by investing in multiple corporations with different risk profiles. Separation management and managerial control allows shareholders to purchase stocks with entitles them to calm residual returns from the firm's operation after paying expenses. However, requires the shareholders to take a risk that firm's expenses may exceed its revenues. Three internal governance mechanisms used in modern corporations are ownership concentration, board of directors, and executive compensation, while market for corporate control is a governance mechanism influencing managers' decisions and outcomes resulting from them. Ownership concentration is defined by number of large block shareholders and the total percentage of the firm shares they own. Large block shareholders typically own at least 5% of companies' issued shares. Boards of directors members are insiders, related outsiders, and outsiders. Insiders are the firm's CEO and other top level managers. Related outsiders are individuals not involved with the firm's day to day operations, but who have a relationship with the company. Outsiders are individuals who are independent of the firm of day to day operations and other relationships. Executive compensation is a governance mechanism that seeks to align the interests of managers and owners through salaries, bonuses, and long-term incentives, such as stock rewards and options. A firm's board of directors is responsible for determining the effectiveness of firm's executive compensation system. Corporate control is an external governance that is active when a firm's internal governance mechanisms fail. It composed of individuals and firms that buy ownership position in or purchase of all potentially undervalued corporations or merging two previously separate firms. International corporate governance, U.S. governance structure is focused on maximizing shareholder value. Germany governance is taking employees as a stakeholder group and a prominent role in government. Japanese governance is challenged by activist shareholders. China governance, the government plays a major role. The internal and one external governance mechanism are designed to ensure that the agents of the firm owners, corporate level managers, make strategic decisions that best serve the interests of all stakeholders. Organizational structures specify firms' formal reporting relationship, procedures, controls, and authority and decision-making processes. Organizational controls guide the use of strategy, indicating how to compare actual and expected results and suggest action to take improve performance. Strategic controls are largely subjective criteria intended to verify that a firm is using appropriate strategies for the conditions in external environment competitive advantages, while financial controls are largely objective criteria used to measure the firm's performance. First, with reciprocal relationship and if properly performance improves. Second, highlights interconnectedness between strategy formulation and strategy implementation. Third, research indicates that firm tends to change structure when declining performance. Lastly, effective managers anticipate the need of structural change. Simple structure owner manager makes all of major decisions and monitors all activities. Functional structure, it consists of a chief executive officer and a limited corporate staff with functional managers in dominant organizational areas. Multi-divisional structure consists of corporate office and operating divisions. Cost leadership strategy requires a centralized functional structure, one in which manufacturing efficiency and process engineering are emphasized. Differentiation strategy it decentralized implementation-related decisions, especially those concerned in marketing. Integrated strategy is a combination of cost leadership and differentiation. Related constraint strategy. Cooperative M-Firm used to implement a related constraint strategy wherein it has centralized office and extensive corporate intensive mechanisms. Related link strategy. SBU M-Firm structure establishes separate profit centers with diversified firm. Unrelated diversification strategy. Competitive M-Firm structure used to implement the unrelated diversification strategy, which is highly decentralized, lacks integrating mechanism, and utilize objective financial criteria to evaluate units' performance. Transnational strategy through which the firm seeks the local responsiveness of a multi-domestic strategy and global efficiency of the global strategy. Global strategy is implementing through combination structure because it must be simultaneously centralized and decentralized, integrated and non-integrated, and formalized and non-formalized. The combination structure is difficult to organize and successfully manage. Strategic network, a group of firms that has been formed to create value by participating in multiple cooperative arrangements for primary tasks to manage strategic network, strategic outsourcing, competencies, technology, and race to learn. Implementing business level cooperative strategies are often employed in vertical and horizontal alliance networks. Implementing corporate level cooperative strategies are used to pursue product and market diversification. Implementing international cooperative strategies are distributed in strategic networks. Implementing strategy through organizational architecture. Strategy is implemented through organizational architecture of the enterprise. Organizational architecture refers to the totality of a firm's organizational arrangements. Single business enterprise strategy, environment, and the need for its integration. The need for the integration between functions is greater for firms that are competing through product development and innovation. Integration and control system, low integration. Consider a firm with a functional structure where there are no integrating mechanism between function beyond direct contact and simple liaison roles. Environment facing the firm is stable, so the need for the integration is minimal. Integration and control system, high integration. This is typically the case when organizational business level strategy involves differentiation through the introduction of new and improved product offerings. Multi-business enterprise controls in diversified firm with low integration. In firm that focus primarily on boosting performance through superior internal governance, where the strategy is one of the unrelated diversification. The need for integration between divisions is low. Controls in the diversified firm with high integration. When a multi-divisional enterprise tries to improve performance through the attainment of economies of scope and via leveraging of core competencies across division, the need for integration between divisions is high. Effective strategic leadership is a prerequisite to successfully using strategic management process. Strategic leadership entails the ability to anticipate events, envision possibilities, maintain flexibility, and empower others to create strategic change. Responsible leadership initiated more philanthropic activities for the firm, spoke out of important social issues, delegate responsibility and authority to other members to empower them to act. Transformational leadership entails motivating followers to exceed expectation, continuously enrich their capabilities, and place their interests of organization above their own. Primary factors that determine the amount of decision-making at discretion held by managers are external environment resources, characteristics of organization, and characteristics of managers, including commitment to firm and strategic outcomes. Top management team composed of key managers who plays a critical role in selecting and implementing the firm's strategies. Top team's characteristics, firm strategies, and firm's performance are all interrelated. Managerial succession. Strategic leaders are selected from either internal and external managerial labor market. Because of their effect on the firm performance, the selection of strategic leaders has implications for a firm's effectiveness. Five key leadership actions are determining the firm's strategic direction, effectively managing the firm's resource portfolio, sustaining an effective organizational culture, emphasizing ethical practices, and establishing balanced organizational control. Determining the firm's strategic direction. The strategic direction specifies the image and character of the firm wants to develop over time. To form the strategic direction, strategic leaders to evaluate the condition they expect their firm to face over the next 3 to 5 years. Effectively managing the firm's research portfolio. Managing the research portfolio includes integrating resources to create capabilities and leveraging those capabilities through strategies to build competitive advantages. Sustaining an effective organizational culture. Shaping the firm's culture is a central task of effective strategic leadership. An appropriate organizational culture encourages the development of an entrepreneurial mindset among employees and an ability to change the culture as necessary. Emphasizing ethical practices, setting specific goals to meet the firm's ethical standard using a code of conduct, rewarding ethical behaviors, and creating a work environment where all people are treated with dignity and actions that facilitate and support ethical behavior. Establishing balanced organizational controls. Controls are necessarily to help ensure that firms achieve their desired outcomes. The challenge for strategic leaders is to balance the use of strategic and financial controls for the purpose of supporting efforts to improve the firm's performance. The balance scorecard is a tool firms use to determine if they are achieving an appropriate balance when using strategic and financial controls as a means of positively influencing performance. This tool is most appropriate to use when evaluating business level strategies. So, for recap, we discussed the following on this presentation, such as corporate governance, organizational structure and controls, implementing strategy through organization architecture, and strategic leadership. Thank you for watching this presentation. God bless and hope you are all safe.